Welcome to Thoughts Off the Stem. I'm Justin Barone, and today we are smoking a little bit of General Admission Sour and Citrus Lemon Berry Crunch. It's a sativa, it's 24.65%, and it's right there so you can see it the whole show. That's what we're smoking in the bong. It's a delicious hit. It's really nice. It's super tasty. It really does a great job of trying to getting you nice and like energetic and creative high. So it's really nice for sure. Yeah. So that's what we're smoking in the bong. And then I figured what we would do is we would smoke a little bit of Nugs because I want to talk about some Nugs today. Nugs is a company that excuse me, I found out about because I started smoking their live resin, and then I started smoking their flower, and I found out that, through trial and error obviously, I found out that all of their stuff pairs together really nicely. So like, for example, do I have it down here? Let's see. I do not. I don't have it down here, but there, Nugs does a fresh frozen hash resin that tastes so good. It's got a very citrusy sort of flavor to it. It's got it gives you that like fishbowl high. It's really wicked. It's really wicked. That's the resin, the frozen hash resin. They do hash. Their hash I haven't tried yet. I want to though. And then what was the other thing that I tried from them? The slaps, the indica slaps. Pheno number 23 was the one I had. This one is the pre-roll for today. So we're going to smoke the pre-roll. It's a blunt. Here, let me just show you. It's a blunt. It's just called the Nugs Wrap. It's the indica slaps Pheno number 25. I already smoked one of these, so I had to go buy another one because I was gonna smoke it on the podcast anyway. So I had to go buy another one because they're that good. I really like Nugs stuff, man. Nugs, it's like I said about Green Seal. Nugs is one of those other companies to me that no matter what they sell, no matter what they make, I will buy it and try it because everything I have tried from them from the get-go has been like, boom, on point. And like I said, all of their stuff pairs together really nicely. So if you smoke, let's say you have a dab, that's the live resin, right? And then you go from having a dab from the live resin to smoking a little bit of the flower, the slaps, or what's the other one? They have a bunch. Anyway, the point is the highs all compound together to bring you like a super high. It's like what did I call it? It's like a cataclysm. Is that the right word, I hope? A cataclysm of high when you smoke Nug stuff. So if you're looking for something else that's like top notch and won't break the bank, that's the other thing. They really do a good job of keeping all their stuff at like a good price point. Like their half ounce, I think in the shops is only about $76 plus tax or something like that. It's close, like just under $80. So your total at the end for a half ounce is like, I don't know, $90 or something. Anyway, the flavors all match really nicely together. The highs pair really nicely together. If you smoke the slaps and the resin, which is what I primarily smoke from them because I really enjoy it, you end up getting like a cumulative high. So you can build on it. Like you can add another element to your high. If you smoke the live resin, you tend to get like really giddy and up and like you smile and you laugh. Same thing with slaps. But then the two of them together will compound and give you this like, when you have really good sex and then you can't hear after? It's like that, okay? Where after you smoke it for a bit, you can't really hear the way you should be able to hear. It feels like everything's muffled, or you're like you can only hear what's in your head, like your ears are full. It's quite the high, man, and it's really fun. It's really energetic. So that's what we're gonna smoke in the pre-roll, and that was a long kick for the pre-roll, but I really do like Nugs. I love Nugs stuff. I thoroughly enjoy it. I can't recommend it enough. And then having this blunt, even though the slaps, I believe, is an indica, I get a little energized from this blunt. I really like it. But again, I get energized from the slaps, like the just the straight flower, like I get energized from the flower too, is what I'm saying. Indica does weird things for me. It gives me like an hour of hyper, and then once I'm ready to go to bed, I'm ready to go to bed. But that's what we're going to smoke in the pre-roll. And like I said, we smoked General Admissions Sour and Citrus Lemon Berry Crunch. It's 24.6%. It's a sativa. And again, really nice and flavorful. It's very... like, it's got a nice citrusy flavor, just like the Nugs does. So I'm like pairing all these citruses together to hopefully keep me up for this one. And then let's see here. This blunt is 20.6%. So maybe that's also why it's a little bit more of energizer for me, because it's not as potent, you know what I mean, as some of their other stuff. It still hits really hard. It's really nice. So yeah, I can't say enough about those guys. I really enjoy them. So let's give them a cheer. Right? That's what I'm saying. Cheer them up. Why? Because they make great products. And again, great price point. Same with the General Admissions there, the sour and citrus. I think that half ounce was roughly about the same price, $76. So like really affordable stuff. And quality as well. That's the thing. Like I have a lot of back and forth debates with people about a well cultivated plant that has an overall quality standard or a standard of quality, as opposed to some other manufacturers that just mass produce to produce. You know what I mean? To give everybody something and get a little bit of money from each level of the market. They have some good stuff, but on average, they have some good stuff, some mid-range stuff, some low-level stuff, but on average, they're selling the lower to mid because they do it in bulk. You know, it's like going to Bulk Barn for weed. That's kind of the way I relate it. But yeah, so those are what we're smoking, and that's, if you're looking for some really good stuff, that's the stuff. I'm telling you, both of those, General Admission, Nugs, really good companies, really, really cost effective. And you get what you get, like you know what you get with them, and there's no disappointment. I haven't been disappointed yet anyway. But have you ever, okay, now that we've covered all that, you ever watched a movie, an action movie, and thought to yourself, man, if only this shit happened in real life, it'd be so cool to see something like that? Well, let me ask you another. I'm a little nervous to tell this because it's still, like, talking about it makes me nervous. And I'm not a nervous person. Like, I don't normally get freaked out about things. But this thing happened to me a couple weeks ago, which is why I didn't put out a session last week, because I just couldn't get my head straight for like 2 weeks. I had a lot of personal shit going on. Not that that's an excuse, but I wasn't in the right headspace to do one of these, right? So I figured I'd take the break. So I apologize if you're waiting, if you're constantly coming back and waiting for more. If you're there listening all the time, I'm sorry that I didn't get one last week, but I'm going to tell you why, because this story is fucking wild. It's also the story that I was going to tell on the podcast with Bo, Session 101, 100, the 100 minutes of smoking. I was going to tell it on that, but then I told him when we went out for a smoke break, and it didn't feel right to tell yet. Just because it's so fucking wild. So that's my question. You ever been to an action movie and been like, dude, if real life was like this, it'd be fucking crazy, right? Well, you ever been in the middle of like, I don't even know what to call it, like a SWAT operation where they all swarm down and like SWAT they take dudes down? You ever been in the middle of that? Do you know how fucking terrifying it is? Dude, it blew my fucking mind. So here's the story, okay? It was, I think, a Wednesday, and I was going to pick up my daughter from a friend's house. And in this complex, you have like a parking lot, right? And you have 2 visitors parking spots. So when you pull in off the street, you pull in on your right, and then the spot that was open was the second spot in on my right. So I pull ahead, I back up, I back into the spot, okay? I'm sitting there, text my daughter, say, hey, I'm here to pick you up. I I'm here. Come on. So she texts back, coming, or getting ready to come out. And I'm sitting like, dude, my heart's starting to race just thinking about this. I'm like reliving it. Holy shit. Okay. So basically what happens is I'm sitting in my seat in the car. I've got my phone plugged in. So I'm kind of hunched over to my right, like in the middle of the car with my head down. And I'm going through like social media. I'm, going through my email, whatever, while I wait for her. Well, all of a sudden it's been like, I don't know, probably about 5-10 minutes. So I kind of look up, see if she's coming, and you can see the whole parking lot because I backed in. So I could see the entrance, I could see where the houses were, I could see where the parking lot ended, like every car except for the ones beside me. So I'm texting, I look up. There's a car on my left-hand side. There's a car on my right-hand side. There are 3 or 4 open spaces on the other side of the car on my right. Okay? I look up. Scan the parking lot, nobody. So I look back down. Then I hear a car, so I look up and I see this car pull in, this silver car. Pulls in, stops on the right side, the first spot on the right beside the car on that side. Holy crap. Sorry, the high's settling in too, but I'm actually nervous about telling this. It's like I'm jittery. So if you're watching this, I apologize for the fidgeting, but like that's what's happening right now. Also, the high is not helping because it's a sativa, so I get little coffee-like when I've had sativas. So water time. Cheers. So I see this silver car pull in, okay? I go back to my phone, figure nothing of it. I see the silver car pulls in head nose first into the parking spot, so the butt end is like just off to my right. I go back down to my phone. All of a sudden I hear bang, this massive bang, right? And I look up and there's a van, a blue, like, I don't know, Dodge Caravan, I guess, something like that. And it's parked. It has like come in holy crap. It has come in the driveway or the parking lot and stopped behind the car that had just pulled in, that silver car. And that bang like rocked my car. It was a gunshot. Like I thought people had pulled in and they were like shooting at each other. I thought it was gangland shit. Okay, that's honestly what I thought was happening. I thought it was gangland shit because all I saw was the silver car pull in, and then I see the blue car pull behind it. 5 guys jump out of the blue van. Okay, and they have like automatic weapons. They're decked out head to toe in black or like really dark blue. They have ski masks on or like face gear, helmets, all this shit. And I'm thinking this guy pulled in and like this van pulled in and now there's like fucking gangs going at it right beside me. So like I grab my phone and I crouch down into my seat a bit so that my head is like beside the like this. Okay, so not where the window ends, right? So there's a seat between me and where the action's going on. There's also a part of a door, and then I'm in there, and my seat's kind of beside me right there too, right? So I'm like huddled down thinking, holy fuck, is everybody just gonna start killing each other right now? So I'm looking, but I can't see the other side of the parking lot, and my daughter's on the other side of the parking lot, potentially coming in, right? So I just kind of stay in my seat. I'm sitting there and I'm watching and looking around, and there's all the action is happening outside this car. So there's 4 or 5 guys that are outside of this van, okay? And I'm thinking these guys are like, it's all like gang shit. And there's no reason for it to be gang shit, by the way. But like, that's what I assumed because it just looked like that. Like the car was so unmarked, you wouldn't even have looked twice at this van to think it was a cop or anything like that. So I start looking at the guys that are in the parking lot, and one guy turns, and I notice the police thing across the back of his uniform, or the back of his like flak jacket, I guess. And then I look up across the parking lot over the van, and I see, this is when it's sort of calmed down now, because when they pulled in and these guys pulled out, you hear this big bang. Well, it wasn't a gunshot. It was whatever they use that's like a 22 caliber something to break windows. So this guy pulls in, they fucking pull up, bam, shoot out the window of his car. Okay, they drag him out of the car. There's 5 guys, 3 on one side of the car, 3 on the other, and one guy with a dog bolting the other way and running towards the house. So as I'm watching this all unfold, I don't know what the fuck to think. I'm not scared at the moment, but like adrenaline was rushing, right? So I'm like ready to do something, but I don't know what to do, because if I just peel out of there, there's a good chance that something like I may get caught in the thing, like whatever's going on, right? And then the other thought is, well, my daughter's still here, so I'm not fucking leaving her. And now I got to make sure that she wasn't, involved in like seeing this whole thing happen. Dude, it was fucking terrifying. So finally it calms down, okay? And I get out of my car because I'm like, I gotta stand up. Shit, I can't. I'm not sitting here anymore. Like the cops had this dude arrested, like in cuffs and over the back of his car. They're reading him all this stuff off a clipboard. I see 2 or 3 other cops come walking up, and they're holding clipboards. There's already 5 cops at the car. Okay, like this is why I say it was a SWAT operation. I've never seen anything like this except for in a movie. It was amazing to me that this was something that could actually happen, like in real life, the way that it happened. Luckily, there was no real gunshots. It was just, I thought it was rubber bullets, but apparently they have like a machine or like a gun style thing that you shoot it and it breaks the window, and it sounds like a gunshot. Like my whole car rocked, and I've shot handguns, so I know what that sounds like and what that feels like. And I was like, I couldn't, oh dude, you can't even imagine, man. So I was blown the fuck away by all this. And then I thought, okay, I've dealt with enough police in terms of like when I work concert security and stuff. I know, just sit here, don't do anything, just wait till it all calms down. So I must have waited like 15, 20 minutes or so, just sitting there, waiting for all this stuff to relax. And then my brain like reconnect with my body and be like, okay, we're good. No one's going to get shot in the face. Perfect. Cool. I'm getting out of the car. So I stand up and I'm standing beside my car, just kind of like assessing the situation. And like I said, I look over and I see these guys walking up with clipboards. I see a couple guys there with clipboards at the car. I see a bunch of dudes with dogs all the way on the other side. Like they had taken this complex and they had shut that whole fucking thing down, like completely off from everything, okay? From every area within a matter of seconds. Like that car came in, stopped the guy. They got out, went after him in the car, pulled him out. By the time that guy was out of the car, the first guy was out of the car and on the ground, the K9 guys were all at each entrance and exit, like walk-in entrance and walk-in exit and parking lot to this place, which is the one I was in, one on the like southeast corner, I guess. So like kitty corner. So they had it all blocked off within seconds. When I pulled into that complex, there were no cars on the street. I think there was like 1 or 2 at the entrance parked on the side. But when I looked after I got out of the car here, I looked over, that entire street was lined with cars and cops were everywhere, dude. Dude! I'm telling you, this was fucking, it was insane. I don't know how rappers do it. I really fucking don't. I don't know how rappers do it, man. Because if they're really all about that life, or like even gang members and shit, like I am not about that. Not at all. After everything went down, I was fucking terrified. I'm driving home with my daughter who had seen it. She thought they shot somebody. They didn't. I had to explain it to her. But like, can you fucking believe that? Like, look, okay, it's not shaking. I feel like I'm shaking, okay? I feel like I've had 7 cups of coffee just from starting to tell that story, because I'm back in that moment. And like, I now have had, I guess, like a very minute glimpse into what it would be like to have like PTSD, because that shit was so fast. You did not see it coming. Man, if nobody saw it coming, everybody in the complex was like, what the hell is going on here? And the thing that made it the most terrifying was because it was obviously like some kind of, undercover operation, I'm assuming. Nobody was marked. Like none of the cars that pulled in were marked. Those marked cars came way later on. Like when I was leaving with my daughter, once I finally found her and got her out and we left, that's when I started to see the actual like marked police cars coming in. Everything else that was in there, even on the street that had no cars and all of a sudden had cars, they were all cop cars. But you never would have guessed. Not in a million years. Okay? And these guys all came out, other than the dudes, the canine units, other than those guys, and the guys that came out of the van, nobody else, they were all in like plain clothes. Like, it was clearly SWAT, it was clearly tactical, it was clearly planned and precise. Like, holy fuck. And I don't know what happened. But all I know is that shit happened, and I talked to like 3 cops being like, can I just have my kid? I just want to get the fuck out of here. Like, you know? But, and that wasn't over no weed, I'll tell you that. That's for fucking sure. Holy shit. Dude, I'm saying, like, it was nuts. Oh, I got a cramp just from doing that. It was nuts. I couldn't believe what was going on. Maybe we'll smoke a little of this blunt to sort of take the edge off. But, dude, I'm telling you, like, if you think that the movies are cool, I'm telling you, when you're in the middle of that shit and you're not trained for it or prepared or whatever, it's going to terrify you. 100%. Because I was shocked. The only thing that I thought to myself was like, I've been in, I know it's not the same because it's not guns and all that shit, but I've been in situations because of concert security. I've been in fights. I've been in like loud, confusing, concussive situations. So I was relatively familiar with like, just wait it out, see what happens, and then, you know, decide what to do. You don't have to just, no knee-jerk reactions, you know, just do the calm thing, watch, see what's happening, make sure you don't get hit by any bullets if they are shooting at each other. Jesus. Dude, that was my first thought, was, holy shit, is like guns now? Really? I don't live in Toronto. I live in Canada, but I live in like suburbia, you know? It's not, the biggest thing you've had to worry about is like maybe some kid trying to, you know, stab another kid, which is fucked up enough. But what I'm saying is, the last thing I ever thought would be that I would be sitting in a fucking parking lot waiting to pick up my kid in a suburban area that is relatively, like, well, I mean, there's lots of kids around there and stuff, right? So it's not something you would expect to see go down like that. But it did. It was fucking insane. And I couldn't believe how fast it was, man. I'm telling you, it was so fast that I looked down. When I saw the silver car come in, I looked down for maybe half a second. Within that maybe two or 3 seconds, there was a gunshot. That's how fast it was. And I looked, and there was no car that followed right away. Like, they came in after, so they timed it perfect. Oh, and then when I got out of my car, I'm standing beside my car, just kind of like shaking it off, right? And this guy gets out of the car beside me, and I look, and he's a cop. Every fucking car that was around me, except for the ones in front of me, because they were the like people that lived there, was a cop car. I drove right into the middle of like some kind of sting. Awesome. And my kid was on the other side of it. Dude, if I wasn't who I am, all of the crazy shit that I've dealt with, and I know I'm not saying I'm anything special, but I'm just saying all the crazy shit that I've dealt with over the last like 3 years, like since the start of COVID, oh man, with like family situations, stuff that like I think I never had to deal with until I was 40. How about that? I grew up, nothing like this would even be a thought in somebody's mind, let alone some of the things that, you know, just family issues we've had to deal with. Like, yeah, I guess you could say like I was a sheltered kid, and man, am I getting a lesson in these scenarios. But in the last 3 years, I've probably grown the most as a person to learn who I am, what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do, and know, really, like, be confident and comfortable in being who I am, because everything that was adverse, I got through by just saying, like, it took a while, but by getting to the point where I just go, okay, let's see how this goes. And then figure it out as it happens. And that's like I think that's the biggest and best takeaway that I've had from any of these situations, is that I've learned to, instead of getting mad, frustrated, or emotional about the thing that's happening because it's going to fuck up a lot of shit, I've realized that there is very little in terms of, everyday situations, or that can't be dealt with over the course of time, and even, and what I'm trying to say is that, like, once you learn, okay, we'll get through it, just go through the steps. I think that there's like a whole new level of maturity, understanding, and ability and capability that you unlock within yourself. And I think within the last 3 years, I've really started to unlock that, because I used to be really emotional. I used to freak the fuck out. Like, if that had happened to me when I was younger, I don't know how I would have reacted. I might have shit my pants right there. But yeah, it's quite amazing. So yeah, if I could parlay anything out of this to you, it would be to, when shit hits the fan, breathe, look around, and assess before you make any kind of knee-jerk reaction. All right, that's what I have to say. Hope you enjoyed my story. And thank you for joining me, Justin Barone, at 4:20 on Friday, to start your weekend off right. I really appreciate it. And again, I apologize for missing a week. Like I said, some crazy shit had gone down, and I had to process it. It's the first few times, it's one of the few times in my life where I've actually had to sit down and really process something. You know what I mean? Like, there's very few moments like this. And yeah, it took me like about a week to do so. Plus, I've been trying to figure out how to make the show better and make it more entertaining or more informative for other people, for everybody that listens, and for new viewers, right? So I also took a break from that, because, like, after that shit went down, I was like, wow, anything can happen anywhere. I'm like, I better really sit down and think about this and then digest it and then go ahead and do something, So yeah, so thank you for joining me on Friday on Thoughts Off the Stem. Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, baby. So that's what I've been up to. And yeah, hopefully for the next little while it goes nice and smooth. So I hope you got something lit. I've lit this Nugs wrap. I really like it. Oh, and they come with a glass tip. They put a little sticker in there to make it yellow, but it is a glass tip. And then, yeah, I really like them, man. They're pretty good. These things are something else. But I like a good blunt. Like, that's the thing. You blunt can be any, like, if it's good, it's good. Doesn't matter if it's cheap, doesn't matter if it's expensive. If it's good, it's good. Because I've had, again, that's the whole idea of a cultivated plant, right? Properly curated all the way around. It's full. It's exactly what it should be. It's rambling. It is a carefully cultivated plant where all of its properties are expressed, nurtured, and grown. I'm getting high. I hope you're getting high. Well, you know what that means. Because, oh yeah, that's the other thing. Because, well, I guess it's not, oh yeah, I could have just led right into that. Whatever, I'm stoned. I hope you're having a good time. I've said that 4 times now. Here we go. So, for this week's Weed Facts, baby, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about this article that just came out with Justin Trudeau and the state of, or what they're going to do, I guess, in the future about how to help the cannabis industry in Canada, and how to help some of these shop owners make some profits as opposed to having to give away all their money. It's time for some weed facts, bro. That's right, some weed and some facts. Right on. Today's weed facts are from stratcan.com, and the title of the article is Trudeau says it's time for the government to catch up and support the cannabis industry. Yes, it is. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go and read the entirety of this whole thing, but basically, the gist of this is that he met with a lot of, or a few of these, like, the bigger cannabis businesses, I guess, the heads of them, or the, let me just see here. Where is it? So, that was, yeah, so he met with a few producers and retailers, and he basically said that, yeah, no, you know what, we do have to make some changes. They were saying they need to make changes in terms of the taxes and the amount of money that they have to pay out because it's crippling them. There's a lot of companies that are not making the kind of money that they should be making because the taxes are so high. The taxes, what else? Like certifications, everything that keeps them in as a business and running and operating properly is extremely expensive. And at the prices of the cannabis itself, if you are not a large chain or a very powerful, wealthy investor, you're not going to be able to stick it out. So in hopes to sort of level out the playing field and allow some of these businesses that like should be doing okay but are suffering and are starting to go not necessarily under but going in the direction of not being able to continue, they want to see some changes from Ottawa, because at this point we have enough data, we know enough about the industry to see its potential, to see that what we're doing is really cutting an industry out before it even gets started. And even though the idea of the industry or the concept from the government is not was not from a financial and job creation point of view, it was from a health point of view. They're saying that essentially the taxes and all that stuff, you know what? I don't really get their logic behind it, to be honest. I think it's kind of a cop-out to say that. But basically what they were saying is they were looking at it from a Health Canada point of view versus a financial and a industry and, money-making point of view. But now what they need to do is they need to shift the focus into, okay, how do we make this like a sustainable industry? How do we keep this going? How do we keep everybody, how do we keep success in the forefront of these people that can, that are starting up or trying to get into the business? So he's saying his side of it is, yeah, now we got to do that. But realistically, it's kind of a silly statement to say that you looked at it from a health perspective, because aside from the pricing, aside from the cost of operating the business itself, in terms of all of the, all of the certifications you have to have, all of the documentation and all of the insurances, whatever. Aside from all that, okay, you have a product itself that is insanely expensive. And if you're looking at it from a medical standpoint, there's so much relief when you go buy it medically in terms of the financials, because you can get a lot of money back if you buy it, if you have a medical exemption, a medical use for it, even if you come to a regular shop. So that's kind of bullshit. Like, I think the government realized the only way to sustain this is to sort of give back a little bit. But they're also at the same time, you got to watch this too, because they're also at the same time leaning on Health Canada to lean on producers of edibles who have sort of exposed a loophole in, or at least a gray area, in the way that the regulation is written to produce higher potency edibles than what is sort of in that guideline. And now Health Canada is pushing on them to say, well, if it goes into your mouth, it's edible. But the debate is, well, pills aren't considered edible. They're considered capsules, so they can be higher in percentage, higher in potency. So all we're doing is we're making a chewable capsule. It's the same thing. Now we can have higher potency options as chewable capsules or chewable concentrates, right? So I think that because of all of this happening, the government has started to realize, like, we're getting exposed for our stupidity here. Just a little, it happens. But I think that's what's going on. And I think a lot of the people also in the government that were put in place into the positions to oversee the development of this were not as educated on cannabis, and like they were they clearly understood retail. They clearly understand business, but I don't think they really understood cannabis. And a big part of this industry is understanding the product you're selling. Yes, you can teach it, but I'll be honest with you, if you haven't tried it and you haven't used it, I'm not taking your opinion. You know what I mean? So in this case, I think that what they're doing is they've realized they're caught in a corner and they're backtracking. And I think over the next few years, things are going to get leveled out. But I think there's going to still be a lot of bickering back and forth. Because, yeah, they're making it pretty hard for companies to make any headway or make any money if they don't have a huge, massive machine behind it. Like, it would be nice. Sometimes it's good having mom and pop businesses that can sell stuff like this, because generally those businesses are the ones that know the product inside and out and like have experience with it on all different levels, from, you know, seed to pocket, that kind of thing. And the benefit of having those dispensaries around is just as good as having you know, like large chains going too, because you need that bit of competition. It's your workers, man. It's the people you pick. It's if you have the culture in mind, that will work out. Your shop can work out, but that's your responsibility, is to build the culture in your shop. The government's responsibility is to allow you and help you to do more with what you've got. I know that people disagree with that, but I think so. I think if you're going to be the government, your responsibility is to make sure that if I'm doing the right things, then I can prosper, right? Whereas if you're doing the wrong things, then yeah, you should, you know, whatever happens, happens. But I'm saying, I think the government has an obligation to sort of to help build the industry, you know. So that's what I think. And I think a lot of what they're saying and Trudeau's saying in this piece or at this meeting or whatever is just a lot of, no, we recognize it. A lot of what he does anyway, you know. But really what we'll see is when these what do they call it? When these bills or regulations or whatever it is are voted on again, or when they change them or adjust them or amend them or update them, hopefully the updates will be worth it. Hopefully they'll be good, you know. So we'll see what happens with that. But like the one thing I don't, the one thing that I really don't get is what is the point? This is what I want to know, because what's the show this happens? The original point I've always said is that with edibles, okay, the government had said, well, you can only have 10 milligrams. Now the reasoning behind this, okay, is because at 10 milligrams, the dosage, even if a kid gets his hands on it or her hands on it, is not going to be too bad if they accidentally eat some, right? My theory has always been kids won't eat it if you explain what it is. You know, they may when they're older, but like everybody gets mischievous. The point is, you as a parent or you as the person with the edible or who purchased it has a responsibility to make sure that edible doesn't fall into a nefarious circumstance. Okay? So I have always been very open with my kids and told them what it was, why they can't have it, and to leave it alone if it was out. But I also have a place where I put everything. So they know not to go in there because they know dad knows what he's got, and that's it. If it's gone, they're in deep shit. Plus, I know what it looks like to get high, so good luck, dudes. My kids are too young for that anyway, but my point is I've always been a very much an advocate for talking to your kids straight up about what it is you're doing, you know? Then they can see that, you know, well, okay, as long as you do things responsibly, right? Everything in moderation, even moderation. So, like, come on now, you know, and know the differences, understand the effects, understand the side effects, and explain that all to your kids. And as it's sort of like, it desensitizes them to it, right? So it's in your best interest, I think, to do that. To try and help them understand to the point where it's not forbidden and it's not too exciting to the point where they want to do it behind your back. I've already said to all my kids, if you're going to try weed or anything, you come to me first. Don't just go do it. Let's talk about it, you know? Not that I'm advocating that my kids do it. I'm just saying, if they're going to, I would rather they talk to me about it. Just like I think that sort of happens with booze. Like you could say, oh, it's mommy daddy juice, whatever you want to say. But at the same time, comes a point where you have to start talking to them. And having 3 kids and being a single dad, my oldest asks questions, which the other 2 want to know as well. So they have to know, you know, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, it surprises me that the government even capped it, because the packaging is not the same in Canada as it is in the US. In the US, you can get away, well, you could, you're not so much now, but at the beginning, you could get away with making like some kind of Skittles infused candy and then branding it like Skittles, same packaging. So you wouldn't necessarily know the difference if you were a kid because it would look similar, right? Whereas in Canada, like they're very different packaging. You'd have to go, what is this, before you could try and open it, you know? And also, if you're leaving like gummies on the counter, what are you doing? Why would you do that? That's stupid. So yeah, so I'm an advocate for talking to your kids, being very open and honest about it, having the conversations you should have. And I think that's like where the government has fallen off, you know what I mean, on the weed industry. They started off with these set of rules, but they never sat down to discuss it until the point where there's too many conflicting situations to make it sustainable if it goes in the way it's going. And then the government has to redirect a bit. And that's kind of what it's like. Like, just be open, man, at least about what we can and can't do. And let's not pretend this was for one thing versus another. Like, it was for both all the time. It was for health benefits. It was for recreation. It was also for the money, because you saw the amount of taxes you were going to be able to get off it. And then also being able to profit off the fact that you were, from the fact that you had to, like, everybody had to register, go through all these things and have X amount of dollars to get into the industry. So, you know, like, let's be realistic about what we're talking about here. Okay. And let's move on. Because I think that this whole thing is like, just kind of like, I don't know, it's going to change. The problem is everybody wants it to change right now. Do it now. They don't want to take the time to let it happen. But I am also very curious to see how this whole edibles versus Health Canada works out, because man, I don't know. I feel like Health Canada is on the wrong side of that one. You know, just, I know the regulations. I know what's allowed, what's accepted. Like, their own wording put it to the point where you could still find a way to manufacture whatever it is that you wanted to manufacture, you know? So, yeah, I don't know. I get that Health Canada has our best interests, or is supposed to have our best interests. But at the same time, you're also like, there are other ways to do things than just the one way. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'm getting high. But that's the weed facts for this week.
Some weed and some facts. Right on.
Apparently the government is looking into adjusting some of the dollar amounts that you have to pay, and making some changes to the industry to hopefully help the industry improve. So we'll see what happens. Could just be lip service. Who the fuck knows? We won't know until we see it. And that's why I always say, I don't care what you say, it's what you do, you know? I try to live by that too, though. My dad always used to say that to me. He'd say 2 things. He'd say, keep it simple, stupid. And he'd also say, what was the other thing? Keep it simple, stupid, and don't tell me, show me. Yeah. So I always had to prove it by showing, you know? Didn't always work, but I tried. So, since we're talking about Canadian weed. Oh, and sorry, I know I said this before, but this is from stratcan.com. It's a news article from there. So I'll put that up on Tots 420, or you could just search it on Google. It's up right now. I just noticed it the other day. In the light of talking about, you know, Canada, the government, and it being legal to smoke weed, I thought for our dude for real facts, we would talk about, or I found this list of facts you might not know about Canada. For anybody that's not from Canada and you want to know some silly things about Canada, we got 3 right here, okay? So this is from theplanetd.com, facts about Canada. Dude for real fact number 1. In Dawson City, Yukon, you can drink a toe.
Dude. For real? Oh, no way.
There's a cocktail where people drink whiskey with a human toe inside it. That's right. It's called the sour toe cocktail. And guess what? You think, oh yeah, where do you get these toes? Cut them off cadavers? Nah, maybe. But this is how they get them. It's fucked up. People donate toes that have fallen off due to frostbite or other means. There is a $2,500 fine if you swallow the toe. When people accidentally swallow the toe, Good Samaritans donate newly severed toes to drink. Dude, are you for real? That's in Canada, supposedly. Again, this is not me telling you this. Well, I'm reading it, but it's from theplanetd.com, facts about Canada. Okay? I did not know that. There are also other facts that are true. I did see a picture at the bar of a person drinking. I can't believe that somebody would do that, but apparently they do. Maybe they don't have weed. Because I can't imagine smoking some weed, looking at a toe in a cup, going like, yeah, give me that. You know? Nuh-uh. Plus, how do they clean the toe? How long does the toe last? Do they pickle it? What happens with this toe? It's fucked up. Okay. Dude for real fact number 2. Get this. This is for all you Bigfoot lovers. It is illegal to kill a Sasquatch in British Columbia.
Dude. For real? Oh, no way.
Yep, Bigfoot is legally protected in Canada. This is one of the more fun facts about Canada that we dug up on our research. So that's these guys at, what is it here? theplanetd.com. They dug up in their research that someone went to the trouble of making a law not to kill Bigfoot. In the 1800s, a man asked for permission to kill the wild man of Home Lake. The response was a firm no, as it is illegal to shoot Mowgli's. Another name for Sasquatch. So, if you're coming to find Sasquatch, really what needs to happen is you need to catch him. So you have to bring a really big net. But you can't kill him. Don't kill him. Don't kill Sasquatch. What if Sasquatch was trying to kill you? Could you kill him then? Or is it like a blanket no-kill zone? And like if Bigfoot is killing you, then like you just have to take it? Because that seems like against... Now, granted, I know that if you're in a hand-to-hand fight with Bigfoot, you're not winning. But can you not fight back like a little bit? Like a little? Just like, what if you stepped on his toe? Is that okay? Is that okay? You step on his toe, and then what if you step on his toe, kick him in the balls, push him off a cliff, right? Okay, so, I didn't kill him. The fall killed him. Can you do that? I don't know. But don't kill Bigfoot. Not in BC. Not in British Columbia, baby. Dude for real fact number 3. The oldest rocks on Earth. That's right. The oldest rocks on Earth can be found in Canada at the Canadian Shield.
Dude. For real? Oh, no way.
Yep. The 4.28 billion year old rock that was discovered by geologists in 2001. That's what they were. I just deleted a thing. Yeah, they're 4.28 billion years old all along the Canadian Shield. That's pretty fucking crazy. Can you believe that? You could go to a bar in the fucking Yukon, in Dawson City, Yukon, and get a toe in your cocktail. It's whiskey. You need the whiskey for the toe. Dude, come on. You'd be I would never drink that. And it's $2,500 fine if you drink the toe. How are you accidentally drinking a toe? How big are these toes? What if you get like a big toe? You're not drinking that. That's going to clog you right up. Now, also, you got to remember, I know the Yukon, BC, probably not very close with like where Dawson City is, but let's say you were drinking toe drinks and some guy took you down, and then you got the bright idea, we're going to go hunt Sasquatch, and you ended up down in BC. The next thing you know, you're killing Bigfoot after drinking toe cocktails. And then you're going to jail because you killed Sasquatch. But really, it wasn't Sasquatch, it was your buddy Fred. Sometimes I have a little, I don't know, man. Dude, I can't believe that people like pay to drink toe juice. It would have to be whiskey because the toe goes in the whiskey and then, you know, the whiskey kills whatever the fuck. Ugh, that's disgusting. Oh, man. Yeah. So that was my last couple weeks, I guess, was freaking out over this being in the middle of a fucking SWAT sting operation. I wonder if when I pulled in between the two cars, the cop that was to my left in the car that I didn't know till the end was a cop. I wonder if he was on the radio like, this motherfucker just fucked the whole thing. I'm like, oh God, I didn't even think of that. Anyway. It was really crazy being caught in the middle. Like, I did not know what the fuck to do except for sit there. I wasn't paralyzed, but I was assessing the situation going like, I can't take off because there's too many people running on the ground, like coming in. I can't get up because it sounds like people are shooting to my right. Like, fuck. It was crazy. So yeah, yeah. And then I've been trying to follow more pot-related news, and there's a lot of cool things going on. There's also a lot of weird, not weird, but there's a lot of companies that are, you know, I think trying to blame also the situation that we're in financially with the whole industry. I think they're trying to blame that on some of their stuff, but some of it, dude, some of it's just not good product. Like, you're seeing sales fall that drastically because a good part of what you're doing is not at the level, you know. But people don't want to do that. Like me in this podcast. It's probably not at the level, but I'm going to keep doing it. Well, those are my thoughts off the stem for this week. I hope you enjoyed the sesh. I hope you come back next week with me, Justin Barone, your friendly neighborhood pothead, on Thoughts Off the Stem on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, YouTube, where else? Pretty much everywhere else. It's out there, baby. And don't forget to check out tots420.com, where you get the latest episodes. Yeah, I got to do more on that site, but you get all the links if you want to listen to it on different platforms. Throw a like, a thumbs up, you know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the sesh. Thanks for joining me, Justin Barone. And until next time, keep your lids low, baby.